Good afternoon, everyone. It's LaRonda coming to you from Just Tell Others, Visit, Craft, and Journal. Today is Saturday, July the 11th. Let's see if I can make this thing stop shaking a little bit. It is, isn't it? Well, I promised I was going to show you how to do the no-sew journal, and I'm going to attempt it. Bear with me. I'm not really great at this, but I wanted to show you how to make a no-sew journal, and it could actually be made into a card to some degree. I mean, I'll explain myself in a minute. Or just an ephemera holder. Let's just be honest. Sometimes it's very puzzling, the things that we make. But I'd like to take time to thank Tina from Shabbydoodah. She was the one that first mentioned it, and then from what I understand, it's probably been mentioned many times, but I watched Laurie Girl on the Ridge, and she had talked about Tina at Shabbydoodah making these, and we always put our own spin to things, and that's okay for us to do that. But what I'm going to do, I have one I'm going to do a coffee theme on right now. I'm going to see how many I have here. And put these others to the side for now. But what I've done, just for you to know, I've chosen some coffee digitals that I have, and it's going to be your preference. Basically, and I'm going to show you how I put it together. Let's see, let's just choose this one right here. Put this other to the side. But what I do is I choose my digitals. And then from there, oh yeah, I'm going to use that too. But from there, I will, instead of, doing I think Tina had called it at Shabbydoodah, and even Laurie had talked about an edge or a ledge or whatever. But there again, we put our own twist on things. So what I did is I just went through, chose my digital, and decided I'm going to use basically the same size ledge. I'm just going to show you how I do it. That doesn't mean it has to be done this way. But basically all I do is I choose the image, and I glue, I don't know if I'm putting this in range here, but I glue around the edges of this paper. And I mean, I just swirl it around, just enough for it to get probably moved around some more, so we're going to do that. But I just throw enough glue on here that I think will adhere. And I take this right here, and I didn't do a straight line on that because I'm running out of room. But that's okay too. Basically, I'm just going to set my glue to the side, and I will do another one to show. And then I come in with my ledge is called, and just put it down, and we'll flip it over where I've glued it, so it's sandwiched in between the folded page. And if you can find digitals that you really like that are foldable, meaning that you won't cut into another part of the digital or whatever, it's just whatever you prefer to do. But I like to take my brayer. A lot of people, and Tina was one of them, she used a glue spreading card, you might say, but I use a brayer because of my arthritis. But I will just take and do the brayer several times around to make sure it's all kind of just smoothed over. Then I will take, y'all, please pardon my scissors here, and I will just trim that part. Sadly, I've done so many that I need to clean my scissors. But I can see that there's some white right through here, and that's what I'm going to trim off. I just take a little bit off here. And it's always good to turn your scissors to the side like. A lot of times you may just follow what's existing there, and it can help a lot. But see, now you have, they call it a ledge, an edge, or whatever. And I'll explain to you what you do with that. But basically, you just choose your digitals. You trim it off as need be. The border, how you'll have the little white line or whatever. Just put that page there. And we're just going to include it with that. And this is what we do to begin with. We have those to the side. And if you want to ink the edges, you can do that. I have here a piece of, it was a certificate paper, but actually it's cardstock, and this is not going to be seen on the back. So basically what you're going to do is take a page, regardless of what page it is. I think I wanted that one because of that way it looked to be the front. Yeah, I think that's what I wanted to do. Anyway, you know, you choose your digitals how you want them. And so what you will do to begin with, because you have this so-called ledge or edge, and you have this cardstock here, you will just adhere it to this. And what I do is I don't butt it right up against, my glue right up against. I just put a bead of glue, line of glue right there, and I will just kind of randomly, just, it doesn't have to be perfect or anything like that. I do try to get the edges around here or the corners, and I just swirl it around however I feel like it. And I do like to use the Fabri-Fix glue. That's just my preference too. And there again, I'm going to take my cardstock, and I don't want to butt it totally up to that page, but that then becomes the back of the journal. And it's not pretty right now. It's going to be covered, but there's nothing wrong with that. And you will take the side here and bend it over. That becomes your starting point of your journal. I did do that wrong. Actually, I wanted that to be my first page, but that's okay because they're all pretty digitals. And then you just take the next one. And I have found, I mean, I've done some that had 12 pages. Basically, what I will do is I'll print off, you know, five pages is enough. But I think this one may have 6 because I was showing you how to do that one. But you just print that off, fold them up. I'm just doing the line of glue. And I'm just, it doesn't have to be perfect, y'all. But I do that so that tells me don't go past that line there. See that line? Yeah. Then you will take your next one and you will just butt it right up against there. Best you can. And you already see that it's kind of, you know, showing there, but I'll show you how to fix that in a minute. But that is pretty. It just turns to be in a no-sew journal. And that's page number 2. But you can just see. And y'all, we visited a little general store today that's beginning to open up. And please pardon my dirty table here. But we visited a place that roasts coffee beans today. And so I'm thinking I might do something for them eventually. It might be just a little something. But I just put that to the side. I pull out my next page. And yeah, there is some glue there from, times yesterday probably when I put this together. Again, you will just put a bead, or not a bead, but a line of glue there. And it doesn't have to be perfect, not by no means. But this is really neato. And the reason I use that Fabri-Fix, and I use it on everything, is because it is a quick drying, and I don't have to use the card. I was trying to think how she used it, what she called it. I just use my brayer just to kind of spread that around. Just spread that around. Yep. But see how, yeah, I got a little bit right there. But see how you can just fold it over and it becomes that. That is so pretty. Set it to the side, get your next piece over. And like I said, I had already done the edgers, ledgers, whatever you want to call it. And there again, I just take another line of glue. Doesn't have to be perfect. It can't be with me. But this is just adhering it to where it will stay. And this, actually my husband has accused me of putting too much glue. So I am trying, I'm not saying I'm doing it, I am trying to be a little bit more conservative with my glue. But you just take your already existing little journal here, and you just line it up. And now I don't butt it all the way up, because I have found that with, seems like I got glue on my hands. but I have found that it just helps keep the pages from buckling or whatever. And you can always scoot it. That's one good thing about this Fabrifix. You do have a little time to maneuver things around. There again, you would just fold it over there and just put it over to the side. Once again, and I mean 5 pages is plenty. 5 pages are plenty. And yes, you see this little bit of sticking out right there. That can be fixed. That's not a problem. That's not a problem whatsoever. Take our existing journal, place it down, and like I said, you can maneuver it around a little bit and just press it down. Good. Fold that over. Isn't that pretty? That's, I mean, it's so simple. And yes, you're hearing where that it didn't really stick. It's old glue. It's just old glue right there. But anyway, you take another digital. There again, I already added the little edge to it, and I don't do it all the way down. I see a little spot there I did miss. I don't like to miss it. But this just helps to adhere it better, and I've not had any problems whatsoever, and I don't think Laurie, Girl on the Ridge, had any with her using her technique, or Tina either. I will tell you that these make some really pretty and quick little journals. Now, you don't have as many pages, and that's okay. That's okay that you don't have as many pages. And just to let you know, I kind of like to use instead of a bright white paper, I use an off-white, or in this case, whatever color that was. That was some paper I had that I was never going to use for any other thing, so I thought, why not just cut that up? Why not just cut that up? But there again, you see how pretty that, oh, I did have that one there, after all. But, yeah, I had 2 of those digitals then, probably. But it doesn't, that's pretty. It turns out to be, there again, a no-sew journal. Now I was going to show you how, and you can do this as you're building your journal. You don't have to wait till now, but just to be able to trim that little bit off. And sometimes it is easier actually to go ahead and do it. But doesn't that make a cute little journal? And then what I do, because now you have, you know, all these pages put together, and this paper just marks up kind of bad too. But then I take, and I've used cardstock, but this time I'm going to use just regular paper that I printed on, and I will fold over, say 2 inches, whatever. I mean, it is whatever you prefer. And that has a little white to it, it looks like, but that's going to be on the inside, I think. And what I will do is I will go ahead and adhere this, glue this down. Oh, y'all, it's been a day, hasn't it, already? But it's okay. It's okay. We hope to be making some pretty things going on here. But, in doing that now, what I would like to do, yeah, that's going to be trimmed some. I can see that now. But I will fold this over, because I'm going to make like a trifold on these. Yeah, that one's okay. It looks like that one's going to have to be trimmed. It's okay. Really, it is okay. But now, because now I have folded it over like that, now comes the gluing part. I will just take this and glue. This makes the cover. And the reason I chose this coffee stain paper is, of course, it's coffee, but it's got to where I'm pretty well, sorry, I'm going to scoot that down. See how that glue allows you to move around a little bit? That's what I like about it. That's what I like about it. That's what I like about it. I'm trying to move it over, and it's going to be trimmed. I can tell that. but it's going to be trimmed. I will take the same thing. Now you can do coordinating papers or something like that, but this one I want to be a little bit longer because I know I don't need much on the very back to cover. See, it almost covered the back. So I don't need a whole lot. I need more of this to be able to cover the flap, you might say. There again, we're just putting enough down, glue down to close this up. And see, whenever you're putting together things, you can also trim it as you need to. That way, you know, you don't have to at the end. But because I wanted this to come and give me some space, you know, for expansion, you might say, I wanted to make sure that I had enough of the flap to cover. See the ends here? You're going to have plenty more to be able to. You will just bend it over, however you need to, like that. Bend it over, and we're going to glue that down. But this is really, really interesting to be able to do such. And maybe I didn't. I did crinkle a little bit, but that's okay. I got it worked out. Got it worked out. But see, you basically have your closure. So when you open it up, and you may have some, you know, of that to show, and you can always cover that with some digital or something else that you may want, but you have a no-sew journal. Look at that. It's very... What if you decided, okay, to try a different coffee? You know, you wanted to change up a little something. You thought, okay, I liked whatever on a certain date. I can go back and order that again. But it's just a little reminder. When you're having coffee, it's like peaceful time. And there again, right here, what I like to do is put a belly band, and I'll have to show that on another one because I'm not prepared to do that. A belly band here, and you can stick your journaling cards in. More writing space. But I will tell you, I'm just showing this. It's not that you have to do it. And that might even be pretty there. But on your journaling page, and I hope you can see this, you can actually tip that in or hinge it, whatever. Do I want to do it now? I can do it, I guess. Yes. Let's do that now. What I like to do is take, this is just a page that I thought, okay, let's just use this. But what I like to do, okay, just put that onto your page, because now you have more writing space. You can write here, anywhere, you know, and, you know, right there. Or if you want to cover up what you've written so no one will see it, you will have that. But things, you know, just however you prefer to do it. Just however you prefer to do it. And this right here, don't let that scare you, because you can always fill that in with, you know, this could be for a man or woman, so you wouldn't want to use lace. But you may have burlap. You may want to use burlap on that. And then, you know, you can just cover however you want to. And as far as the trimming, you see how that goes? You can easily trim that. It looks like, you know, maybe whenever I was doing my ledges, edges, whatever, that's what probably stuck out most. And it will at times, depending on, and you can tell it's paper and not cardstock there. But it's that easily done. I mean, that is, look, you still have maybe some right there. I didn't get that good enough. Let me turn mine. Right there. I'm just going to push this to the side. There you go. Isn't that pretty? Now that turned out to be nice, but that's a coffee one. And I'll trim that up later on. But that is just how simple it is. Now, from what I'm understanding with Tina, with Laurie, different ones, should you want to put pockets in, to put journaling cards in, or just other paper for journaling on, maybe a menu. Maybe you could put a pocket and this little coffee shop menu in there. That'd be neat. This is really simple to do. But see, you don't want to overdo it because it would just be way too much. But let me get to the center of it. But see, it does pretty well lay flat. It does pretty well lay flat. And so, you know, I've not tried to weight this down or do a closure yet. But that's just simple. And you can put, like I said, the pocket, the belly band where you can put the journaling cards in, or maybe pieces of paper. Simply just pieces of paper that could be written on. And I just think that is neat because it just limits you unlimitless. I had to stop and think. So that's coffee. Yeah, I mean that would be pretty with a rope, not rope, but whatever it's called. I have so much of it. What is it? It's that brown string. Anyway, that would be pretty done that way. That way. So I'm going to put it to the side. And there, again, I'm going to show you. Got another one. But do you see how fast that was? That was so fast. Now this is one that I'm doing, again, with coffee. But it has roses with it. I had made 5. Let me see. I may have done more with this one. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to have 7 actually in here. I've done 12 even at that. But after I do this one, I will have 12. There again, we need a backing. So I chose the, I have plenty of this paper, but it's cardstock feel, so I'll put that to the back. I'll just put these to the side here. There again, I have taken just a digital of edge paper or ledger paper, whatever you want to call it. It makes it a ledge, is what I'm saying. It makes a little thing for being able to create your journal. There, I'm going to start with the gluing process. And it doesn't take a lot, but let me tell you, I do like to make sure they're all done good. And so if I overdo the glue, oh well, I overdo the glue. And then just a line of glue here. And if you get some there, that's okay, because it's going to be closed up anyway. I will try to line it up, stick it down, and flip this over to close it. I use my brayer. Now, you know, you use whatever you want to use, but I have a brayer. I was one of those back in the day, whenever I first started, I thought, oh, I've got to have this, I've got to have all that. But let me tell you, I have even used, let me put that to the side there, I've even used a box. Anything, because my arthritic hands, you know, anything that can do this. Just smear the glue around is what you're doing. I'm sorry, that's kind of clicking there. My glue's closed up here. I've even taken my glue bottle, run it there, making sure. So, I mean, I'm saying, you know, you do what's best for you. Of course, you will see. Now, it does look okay on the ends there. And I have too much here, so what I'll do is I'll just trim it off. Not to be perfect by no means, because you can catch that later on. I'm going to use my backing here. Simple. You just run a line of glue here. I do things in swirlies a lot of time. It just seems to me like it helps to smooth things out, and you know, you don't have to worry about if this is covered or that's covered. And what I want to do, remove that glue there. But remember your card here. Line it up best you can, and if it's not the best, that's okay, you can trim it. And I leave a little line here, just a little emptiness there. Yeah, I'm going to trim that, I can see that. And so let's go ahead and do that. We can go ahead and trim as need be. Like I said, I turn my scissors to the side a little bit, and there's a little place up here I saw that as well. Yeah, I need to clean these scissors so bad. That's just some little things on the end there, and that's fine. And then you just flip it like that, fold it over. That is pretty, huh? Well, let's see, make sure we don't have two of the same, and we don't. So that's what I was just double checking. There again, I'm going to put this to the side. Run a line of glue. There, that should be enough. Taking my journal that I've already put together, lining it up best I can, and yes, gonna have to trim that, I see that, and that's okay. I take the brayer, and one good thing about like using brayer, bless its heart, look at there, I've got so much stuff on it, but you need to put your hand so that the brayer doesn't cause it to slide anymore, because it will. It will. It will. But I'm going to put the brayer to the side, fold it over, and look. But let's go back and trim this up a little bit. Yeah, oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. That happens. I know, but I shouldn't do that. And that's that cardstock, so it's a little bit stiffer. But there, look, put that to the side, bring another one in, and I failed to mention on this one had a little line. Whenever I printed it off, this had a little white line between separating the two pages there. And I mean, it was a digital that I just folded over, and I should have shown y'all. But I took my ink and my inker and inked it. I think that was with espresso. There we go with coffee. But these daubers, we actually make them here at home. This one is so worn because, I mean, the pretty colors are just, I've used it so much. But we make these here at home. The neck of this one is a little bit thicker than the ones you buy in the store, such as Hobby Lobby. Because my arthritic fingers, I asked my husband, I said, could we come up with something to maybe help with that? Because of the way I have to hold it. There again, just a line. A simple gluing, that's all it is, simple gluing. And I do try to make sure that the ends, all the ends are, although the brayer will help spread it around, I do try to make sure of that because your existing journal, because you want your papers to be glued down good, the corners of it. And because you're going to be bending this, you want it to be, like I said, just narrowly a crease line there. I'll take my brayer. Yeah, I have to say, this digital is very pretty. Very pretty. Very pretty. It's tacky there because of the glue that I had there. Here again, I took my on all of these. This particular one, I did use my ink on it, on the edges. I didn't do any of the inking on the digitals because they are so pretty. You will just draw a line with your glue, put a line down, and you don't have to be perfect by no means. It's like, okay, let's do this. Just enough to adhere stuff. Taking your existing journal, putting down, and yep, we'll be trimming that. I see that now, but that's okay. That's okay. Taking the brayer, and like I said, I kind of hold it at times to make sure that it's all held together. And I have found, see, it did slide. I can feel that sliding. But I have found that by making my pages all one size, all one size, that it just really helps. I don't have to worry about having a lump here and a lump there. But this is so fun to do. Actually, you know, whenever I first showed y'all, I probably had made 26. Guess what? Probably now in the 30s. It's probably now in the 30s. But I just love making them. I really do. I really like making them because, you know, the stories, such as the theme with the coffee. I have a special one I want to show y'all in a minute. But look, you just put it down on your existing. And that's pretty there. May want to slide it up just a hair. But y'all, folding that over makes it so pretty. Yeah, it's tacky. I can feel it. And yeah, I probably did use too much glue there, didn't I? But it may be from, I see that line there. But I'm going to go ahead and trim that. Maybe that'll help a little bit. And why don't we just go ahead and do this other side? But isn't that pretty? That one's a pretty one. So guess what? We're going to come back to this one. And you know what? I see it before I even glue it. I see this little white bit here. Y'all, and I don't even have my glasses on. Shame on me. So yeah, let me put my glasses on. Oh, might as well laugh about it, right? But there's that little bit of white. Just a little bit. And whenever I say a little bit, I mean, did it stick on my... There it is right there. Just that little bit. Just that little bit right there. But, okay, just take the glue and a little bit of a line there. Again, it doesn't have to be straight, doesn't have to be perfect. It's amazing what glasses will do. You know, I guess I try to tell myself, you don't need them sometimes, but hey, it really does help. I might as well laugh about it. Not cry about it, for sure. Take your existing journal, line it up just so it has very little there. And I'm sorry about the noise, the little creaking and everything, but it's like everything's rattling on my desk. But that's okay too, huh? I mean, I'm just working, right? But there, that's pretty. Let's see what's causing this. Okay, maybe I didn't trim that enough after all. That one. And from page to page, It's going to vary. There's that little bit there. Okay. Come back and trim this up a little bit. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. There's that one that looks like it's kind of needs a little trim there, so why don't we do that? Just a little bit. Now, I don't know if I maybe trimmed that one a little bit too much, but that's okay. That's okay. Look how, yeah. Looks like I may have trimmed it a little bit too much, but that's okay. Aren't those pretty, though? That is a pretty journal. And there again, what I'm doing on this one, I had just printed some digitals off. So, reminds me of coffee. Is that not cute? We're going to put this one to the side for now. We're going to bend this one over a little bit more. And you see, I know without a doubt we're going to have to trim that one. There we go. Yeah. Without a doubt, that had to be trimmed. Just going to put enough glue down to adhere it. And what I like to do is I like to get close to the edge, like I said, and make the little swirlies in the corners. Because it just, to me, whenever I use my brayer, it makes it stick so much better. It glues it down so much better. And whenever I say this thing helps my hands, I will tell you it does mean that. Okay, just bring this back. What I like to try to do is where I have joined that together. Again, I like to line it up basically like I've done before. So you got your crease there. You've got your crease there. So you know where your journal crease is. There. Oh, yeah. That came out of that lid. But just put enough glue on it to adhere it again. And you use whatever glue works best for you. I mean, there's so many out there. And this is just my preference right here. Line that up. So line that up. As you can see, it covers the back. And you can always put whatever you want. You know, if you want to pretty little, make it all, you know, pretty, whatever. You can change things around however you want. However you want. Now, this other one here. And it's best to have the folded edges. Put this over here. It's best to have the folded edges. To me, it just makes it all look so much neater. So much neater. So much neater. I'm going to just glue this down. And we can always add another type of closure to it if you want to. I have just chosen this. Have y'all seen the Louise Carmen journal? Maybe covers? Maybe. That's what it's called. I don't know. But they're more of the trifold. Well, I did not know until this week when my daughter pointed it out how popular they were. And it's basically using the same technique of a, turning my scissors sideways a little bit. Just a little bit. See? It's just that much of a on there. But anyway, my daughter was telling me about how they were popular and everything, and how pretty those Louise Carmen journal covers were. And it's like, I totally get it. I totally get it. I'm just lining it up. I didn't give myself enough, but I can always, you know, we can always cover this with lace or something like that. So if we want to do it maybe more, say, that's your preference. This is just the way I do them. I like to have, in case, you know, that's where I'm gonna glue it at. But in case I want to put pockets in it and then put ephemera in it or anything like that, and it becomes bulkier, it has expansion. And I think that's what Laurie Girl on the Ridge did. She made hers for like ephemera holders and things like that. So, but the digitals can be whatever you choose. It doesn't have to be what I've chosen. I do like that because put it down here, cover it up like that. My intent to do with some of them is to just write basic things. Write basic things. This print here, we're going to go back and change. Kind of trim that up a little bit, and that's what we can do. I'm going to get some more scissors is what I'm going to do to finish that one off. But basically, you have a, you know, a journal now, and that's not lined up like it should be. It needs to be trimmed. I get it. And I get it. I sure do. Yeah, I have some glue there. But trim this up. And this end over here looks like it could be trimmed up some. So, I mean, it's nothing to trimming. It's just your preference, how you want to do things. I cut mine with my paper cutter. And it's a possibility that, you know, I didn't have it lined up just perfect. But that's what we're, you know, that's what this is about. Not even in being perfect, but yet, in the end, whatever you want it to be. It looks like I cut that off a little bit too much. And that's okay, because this one is mine. I determined this to be mine. This is one that was really dear to my heart, with the roses and of course coffee. And the pages are very durable now, because what you've done is you folded a piece, you know, a digital in half. I'm sorry, a digital in half, so it becomes, you know, two pieces. So it's very durable, and it's 24 or 28 pound paper. I'm not sure. Not sure at this point, but yeah, aren't those pretty? Now, you know, this will be available, or any of them are available. I hate that I trimmed that a little bit. Well, that's okay though. Look at it. It looks like it could be trimmed a little bit more, huh? We're just going to do that, just to see. And I'll, you know, I will show you the ones that I've made with cardstock. I do prefer more so with cardstock. It's sturdier. Not that this isn't, because it's been doubled over, as you can see. But the cardstock has been a favorite of mine. Has been a favorite of mine. But there you have your journal. It's like a trifold. Plenty of writing spaces. And there again, you could even put your own, let me get a piece of paper here. You can only, you know, do what you want to do. Say you have a pink piece of paper, and you could, you know how to hinge it. You know how to hinge it. You just basically hinge it like that. You would glue it on the back, however, you know, long you wanted it. This does exceed that. But you can trim it down, and that way you'll have writing space here. You can have writing space here, but then you can have writing space there. And if you were doing it for a reason of covering it up, that would be no problem. You would, no problem whatsoever. But anyway, I thought that was a pretty digital. But do you see how simple and fast a no-sew journal goes? I mean, it puts together. Could easily put a pocket here, put some journaling cards in, a belly band, and that's what I like to do. I like to put a belly band at the very back, always at the very back. But I mean, that's your sturdiest because you have all of your, you know, fold overs and all. So I like to put the belly band back here. Now, if you want to put a pocket with bunches of, you know, journaling cards, whatever, that'd be perfect to do as well. But turned out pretty, huh? And it'd be pretty put lace, yeah, well, I have that there. But it'd be pretty put lace there. Or some pretty edging. But I just wanted to show y'all how simple a no-sew journal really was. And we did 2 in that amount of time. I had already prepared some things, but what I wanted to do was read to you. And this comes from today's prayer. It doesn't mean today. It doesn't mean, it means any day prayer. But a lot of people got this from Dollar Tree. Those are boxes with the prayers in it. And that would even fit, see? You could put that in a pocket. But when I am afraid, I put my trust in you. And that's from Psalms 56:3. But how pretty is that to think about, you know, what we've just done and how that would even fit. Now, you could also just adhere a little bit of paper there. So this could become a flip out or whatever you want to call it. Is that not neat? But for now, you know I've kept y'all longer than usual. But I would ask that you please subscribe, like, and share if you haven't already done so. And if you are interested in speaking to me, also, you know, list in the comments, put your comments there. But I also have email you can reach me at justellothers@gmail.com. And that's JUSTTELLOTHERS@gmail.com. So for now, it looks like it's coming another storm here. We're going to end for now, and I'm going to say thank y'all for joining me, and maybe it's going to cool off a little bit. But y'all take care. All right, thank you. Bye.